I'm trying to read the label, but hey guys, welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with your host, Shawn Gervais from OrbisX CRM, as well as Marshall Hill from the Pints of Polishing Podcast and Hyperclean Car Care Products, and Craft Beer Connoisseur.
I wouldn't go connoisseur.
Okay, fair. That term's kind of.
Yeah.
You feel it's kind of like hoity-toity, like
Yeah, and craft beer people got a really bad name years ago. Remember how exactly that, because it was fun for a minute, but I think once like Untapped and once that stuff got involved, it got way too much for me. I just like I don't need points. I don't need to go spend all this time. I used to go drink with buddies, and that's all they'd just be sitting there. Okay, I gotta update this. Oh, you see so and so. Like, get the fuck off your phones, man. Like, just drink the beer, watch the game.
That's so true. Oh my god. You know, on that note, actually, recently I tried. I went a whole weekend without my phone. It was wild, to be honest.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It was, yeah. And the whole thing was, I still have my Remarkable, so I was still able to use technology. It's not like I went like, I'm going to go in the woods or something on a retreat. But I was just like, let me just stay away from, and I wasn't trying to stay away from emails or anything like that, because I was like, I'll get to them when I get to them. But it was more, I wanted to chart my time. And I wanted to see, okay, so usually I would do this, and then I would go and send a couple emails. Anyway, I got so much shit done. It's insane. Like, it's insane. Anyway, it was really, really productive time. But the whole time through it, I was looking around at everyone else on their phones. And so I was just asking randomly, like, what are you looking at? I'm just doing this. And then I go to the next person, what are you looking at? And they were all just doing nonsense. And I was like, this is crazy. It's one thing if you're, I'm sending a quick email or finishing a proposal or whatever it is. Okay, you're doing something, but just.
I think for me, like I'm with you. I waste my time anyway scrolling or doing what. So it's like, okay, I can do that, but I do that normally. So it's like, for me, it's been an experiment of what can I find new that I can waste my time? Because that's really all we're doing. Right? Yeah. That's all the weekend is now. You're just wasting time until Monday, our favorite day.
It's true.
If there's a 3-day weekend, those are the worst. Right? By that third day, I'm just itching like,
big time.
I got to do something like, ugh. But, that is life. You arrive at almost 50 and you realize, great, my weekends are to do absolutely as little as possible. Not what it used to be back in the day, right? If you're in your 20s, you do as much as you can on the weekend.
Exactly. Now, so we're going here, and then we're going here.
Yeah. So we went to we go to physical therapy every weekend. And this past one, they were asking, what'd you do this morning? I was like, it was a perfect weekend to just sit out the back patio, watch some games, watch some highlights, did some stuff. The coolest thing I think I've found on YouTube lately, apologies if I'm late to the game, is DJ sets. And it's just, it can be actual DJs, like real, the ones that you can get off of like Spotify, like real, like big DJs. And it can be just, I don't know, some of the fun ones are these couples. It's like a man and a wife that they always cook food. They always have food over there. They have their own DJ set up, and it's like a 2-hour set of them playing music, usually some nice background and food. And it's like, okay, I can put that on in the background while I'm, sitting out on the patio, maybe sweeping, or doing whatever I'm doing, like hanging out.
100%. Yeah. I'm with you there, actually. Yeah. We listen to this one. He's a DJ doing the exact same thing. Oso City. And then there's another one. I think it's called like Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I can't remember what his thing is called. But he'll have different nights, and what he often does is he'll go to like a barber shop, for example, and there's a bunch of people there, and he's just DJing, and people are walking around and stuff, and then there's just someone filming like all the people there having conversations.
It's cool, isn't it?
And then him DJing and stuff. It's cool, man. It is. It's kind of like if I'm home and I'm just cooking or something, it's almost like there's people here but not here. You know what I mean? Like it's
the first one I found that he recorded.
I do that quite a bit because for me it's either that.
So I think maybe there's a lapse or something. I think we're jumping over each other. I don't know. But with the connection. One of the first ones I remember seeing was this drone that was watching this guy that was out on a balcony, and it was like in the tropics somewhere, and he's like, I don't know, stuff was jumping all around him and stuff, and he would every once in a while show the drone, which was cool. I mean, his wife would walk around out on the patio, drink coffee, and go back in. I think some of them, they set some of them up. I think some of them, his green screen, you can tell some of the water doesn't move or stuff. Like, I think some of those guys set some stuff up.
Or just repeats.
Whatever. That's my new thing, 100%. Man. And fun to do.
It is fun though, and that's where we do that. And then I watch a lot of documentary, like weird things about animals and stuff. But lately, because the kids now they're doing their homework in the kitchen, so if I'm cooking and they're in the kitchen, that's what we do a lot too. We watch those things, but it's fun. It's something different, and you got to explore, man. That's what it is. But I think as I'm aging, my desire for certain content is changing, my patterns and stuff is changing. But I think, I don't know, maybe it's not an age thing because my kids are doing it too. I don't know really, but...
I think, attention.
Yeah. Gotta grab that attention, yeah. Is this still lagging, by the way? For me, it was like a few seconds behind.
Yeah, it's lagging really bad, yeah.
Yeah? Shoot, I'm wondering, now it seems okay, actually.
Okay.
I bring it up and then now it's, well, we'll see.
But this was cool, what you sent me, the attention. 30 cars.
Oh, man. I'm so happy when, one of the members sent us that. I'm so happy when people see something and then execute on it, or in this case, hear something. And we've been talking about that, like marketing and stuff. It's been a segment of ours for quite some time. But you recently mentioned, the caution signs and that whole strategy. And then Dejan jumped on it straight away. And then now we got another member. He's jumped on it as well. And I'm excited to see how it goes. Especially this new member. He listens to all the episodes as well. And he always takes action and does things. So I always know because we'll put out something, and then I know within a day or two, I'm going to get an email. Hey, Shawn, listen to the episode. I really want to try this.
That's cool.
Whatever.
That's cool.
It feels good. And then, but it's also nice to see, because like the proof is in the numbers, right? And so these guys message me after, and they tell me kind of an update. Like not just, hey, I'm going to do it. Once they actually do it, they'll say like, hey, this worked really well. I had to tweak it like this or whatever. And they tell me the stats, and it's always positive, which is amazing. And it's nice to see their own injection of initiative as well, where they say, oh, I tried this in this area or something like that. And it's really cool, man. So hats off to them for listening. And he did a really good job keeping the sign simple. It's something you stress quite a bit, and that's necessary. But cool thing with him too, he actually orders the signs as well. So it's not just, oh, hey, I listened to the episode and I made the sign and I'm going to go to a local print shop, get it done. He's actually a customer, not just of OrbisX, but also of Printing Shark. So
that's really cool.
Stuff printed as well, which helps a lot. Get some keys access too, where he has questions. I can be there,
Yeah, that's real cool.
And it's one of those things, though. I think you have to. It's part of that whole community thing. You've been preaching community since the beginning, and I think that's what it really is that you build that community. People listen, people take action, but then he's taking it a step further. He wants to get advice at times. He wants some, counsel or strategies, things like that. A lot of people ask me these things, but if they're not actively a customer of mine in other avenues, it's just the nature of things, They're going to be a lower priority than someone that's asking me the same question, but he's actively, placing print orders. He's a member of OrbisX. He's, actually listening to the episodes. When you participate in the entire community like that, the response back you get is a lot different. It's almost like why people go to like Harvard or something. It's not just the education; it's the network as well, right? And I think that's true of all facets of life for sure.
Well, that's cool. Hats off to him, definitely. That's really cool.
Yeah, man, 100%, man.
And you're right about community, and part of it too is because if somebody like yourself puts out this much information and takes amount of time to offer advice and makes sense for somebody that listens to kind of go, hey man, thanks, here, let me support back. Like, just, it seems normal if you just say it out loud, but there's so many of us because there's so much content, there's so much out there. I mean, I don't remember the last time I was watching somebody on YouTube and I just bought something from them just to support them, right? I didn't ever do that, right? Like we talk about these DJs, they say something about, support off of their, what's that? What's that? With the, they have their own little, there you go, Patreon, right? Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe one day I guess I will because they're entertaining me, but they're also getting paid off of YouTube. So I don't really feel obligated, right? Because it's not really free. Yeah, it's they're using somebody else's platform. What's unique about you is, no, this is your platform. This is what you put out. This is, this is you. It's not somebody else. And so hats off to him for basically, in a sense, paying forward. Like,
100%.
Is it paying backwards by paying forward or something? Like, I don't know. Like, not sure, but, that is cool.
Yeah. But no, and it makes a lot of sense. I find that, there's so many options out there nowadays. You're absolutely right. There's options for content, there's options for products, equipment, so many things. And a big focus for me has always been on working with strategic people, not so much for what I'm getting in that moment, where it's like, oh, okay, well, what kind of deal can I get today? Or what kind of this and that? And then next month I'm going to go try this other product because they've got a special running or something. Like, I found it was always better just keep a consistent relationship with vendors and partners. And that way, and that's the same thing with content providers as well, is that there's content providers, like my wife, for example, gardening. And this is, remember, it's a safe space. We can talk about gardening. my wife watches a ton of YouTubers, she follows them. And so whenever, like her birthday's coming up or something like that, I always go and check out their, because we usually have a shop link. I check those out. And then I go and purchase. And one of them, I bought an auger. She needed a 3-inch auger so she could drill holes for planting stuff. And I bought it from her direct. It was about $10 or $12 more than if I just bought it from the actual company or Home Depot or something. But I realized, I was like, okay, so what? So she's making a little bit extra. Okay. But that helps fuel her going. And yes, you're right. She is getting paid YouTube as well. But at the same time, man, the content they're putting out is amazing. My wife has learned so much from it. It's like, okay, so I spent $12 extra, but now I kind of solidify in a way that lady's going to keep putting out content. And then my wife can keep learning. I tell you, it's a shit ton cheaper than a university. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and I used to watch Cooking with Sam. I bought his seasoning, so I could see that. But I guess it was just for me and the DJs. It was like, not really something to buy with them. That's most of the content. Or I'll watch different videos, highlight videos, update videos of the latest games. So it's not like CBS, I need to buy anything from there. So, but it is interesting, right? YouTubers need to have something for people to buy. They will buy and they will support. Or right, like stuff we do, like you said, right? There's other ways of people put out information. Jeez, the amount of stuff you and I have put out over the years is,
man,
there's nobody else. There's nobody else. There isn't.
It's true. There really
There's nobody.
Yeah. Not consistently, and I'd also say the source also matters too.
Directly about marketing. For detailing. There's nobody else that's put out that information.
It's true, absolutely, and with our experience as well. Like, it's not like we're just like, oh yeah, two marketing guys that we're going to talk about marketing and trending and what's this and that. No. It's backed by experience, backed by putting it into play and continuously doing so. Like, we're still running these companies, doing the same thing, and that makes a difference. Which on that
I've never been a marketing company. I've never done that.
Yeah.
I just went to battle against them and fucking kicked their ass. That's what I did.
It's because you hadn't met me yet. But but no, it's true though. And but that's that battlefield test. I think that's what helps, and that's what helps make really great products for our industry. So the fact that, yourself, Nick, the experience you guys have from all sides of the fence, like having worked with dealerships, having run a car wash, Nick's shop also, which is doing insane number of vehicles. Just that sheer volume alone is like, you guys have your own R&D department. You know what I mean? Directing, like, it's impressive. And then same thing on my side of the spectrum. It's same thing. I went from, doing websites and marketing for other companies, a big time sector or whatever of that marketing agency. Like, we worked with Toyota and Harley Davidson for 13 years. So like, we saw, trust me, working with dealerships, that gave me huge insights into that, the psyche of people when they were thinking of, purchasing a car care, maintenance, all that, and all that went into everything that I do now. Next logical step was, let's open a detailing shop and let's open a dealership ultimately. So It's all that experience that it just goes into this. So we're kind of like the craft beer of the detailing world, you know?
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go. I like it. Good
yeah.
segue.
Thanks, thank you. Yeah, I was like, I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, yeah, we're the craft beer of it. That's what it is. But it's that care and attention that goes behind it, the knowledge, the expertise, all gets wrapped up in a bow. And so when you're trying to choose a provider, and you're like, oh, I want to go with this system, or I want to go with this product, or whatever it is, you got to factor all of those things into it and think about not just, well, I heard so and so's using it, so I guess that's what I should use. And that's one thing that drives me nuts about the questions I see, where people are like, oh, what kind of this are you using? And I understand it's a good place to start and get some feedback, but so often I just see the same garbage just pumped at people, and it's almost like there's no reasoning behind it. Like, it's not like, oh, I do see the occasional where they say, I used to use this and now I switched to this and I tried this because of XYZ, and they actually break it down, the logistics of it, of why they're doing that. Most of them are just like, oh yeah, well, I hear everybody uses this, so I guess fall in
That's what
line.
most people do. It is. Yep.
It is. It's just like fall in line, and then, but that's where I
It's
myself.
it. It's interesting, yeah. You
It,
could take that analogy with what we talk about the migrations, right? And going with the herd and
yeah,
just going with the flow. And it's like, all right,
like a
safety
solo.
in the herds, there, boys. Keep staying safe in the herds, and you'll figure out what happens. You'll figure out what happens. Like,
It's true, and then you get swallowed up by a crocodile. That's what happens. Yeah, that's where I'm always looking for the exception. And so my weekend where I took the weekend off from the phone, I was asking myself some pretty hard questions and some pretty big questions, because we're currently on phase 3 of our shop revamp. Because since the passing of our office manager, we've been going through stages, right? And so first stage was, clean up all the books and processes for how that's handled, so that money can't, go missing or this, that. Staff, get that everything locked down, keep current staff, hire new staff, so on and so forth. Next step is customer facing side. So we're working on the website, we're working on our marketing materials, all that kind of stuff. So redoing the website, man, I tell you, it's been an area that we haven't really touched in a while, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was looking at my own website and I was like, ooh, it reads like a brochure. It reads like we have all the right info there. We have all the right, marketing, calls to action and this and that and video and stuff like that. And I was looking at it. So I said, well, there's some detailing specific website guys. Let me just check and see some of their work. And I went through brochure after brochure after brochure. I said, fuck, none of these read to sell to me as a customer. They all read to sell to someone that's like another detailer.
knows the lingo.
Yeah, exactly. And so I started looking at that and I was like, even detailing. And so I said, okay, so step 1, let's find out what our customers call it. Let's find out. So we started talking to them. Oh my,
Shawn, are you sure you want to go down this path?
I don't know, man.
I'm telling you, there's people going to get upset.
People are going to be upset.
People are going to be upset because
Yeah,
I know where you're going.
yeah, it's
And you're going to step on some toes here for the people that say they're a luxury service.
yeah. Well, sometimes toes need to be stepped on if you want to get ahead. That's what. Yeah, I know. I know. It's a.
Shawn, I started at $25 a car, so my toes are perfectly fine. Please
Yeah,
proceed.
perfect. Please proceed. You got those natural steel toes. But yeah, I was looking at it and I was looking at these. There's some popular companies out there. Don't have to say names, but they pump out websites. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, holy shit! Not only is the template more or less the same as the last one, the verbiage and everything. I was like, they've done a really good job at selling the site and the service to a detailer, but not at selling the service that detailer is offering to their customer. So it was really hard, to be honest, to find inspiration out there. So I said, okay, well, the best people to sell to are our customers. So I put together a couple landing pages that were going to soon be our home page, and I just pitched it to each of them. And I said, do me a favor, rip this apart. We'll give you some bonuses added onto your service, your appointment. I need 15 minutes of your time. I want the most brutal feedback possible. I got it. And I'm telling you, I learned so much in one weekend. One weekend. Well, 2 days, really, Friday and Saturday. No phone, just dealing with customers, taking notes. And you know what we came to? Very, very basic terms. I didn't believe it. I said, hold on. I looked at it in the end, and everything. Marshall, I was like, this thing's written for grade 5. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, like, no. Like, detailing. Everyone's familiar with the term detailing. And so what I was finding is that either soccer moms, they were like, I don't call it that. I tell my husband, go get the car washed. Go to clean the car. Those are the terms that I'm using. Talk to the husbands. And they were like, honestly, I first found out about detailing. Then I thought, like, oh, Jesus, it's probably like $800 service or something. I don't need all that. They're like, I just want a car wash. But then when I Google car wash, I'm getting literal car washes like at the gas station. They said, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, holy shit. So the terminology had to change completely. So we're scrapping detailing completely. And we're just going with a few tabs for different things because the customers told us, and this is the research that we did. I literally pulled so many of them. I sent it out email blast to customers. People participated in the poll. It was really thoroughly done. And what we settled on was we offer a few services. We do detailing, for example. I'm going to use industry terms right now. So we do detailing, windshield replacement, tinting, ceramic coating, PPF, and wraps. That's our primary bread and butter. Of course, within there we do, like paint correction, headlight restoration. There's a few sub things. But by and large, that's our categories. So how it was recommended we break them down: clean, enhance, protect, repair. Those were the 4 common terms.
Pretty sure those first 3 is like ammo's exact, like clean, enhance, protect, or something. Like, there's somebody that has that exact lingo. Like,
you know what? They're spot on. They're spot on. No joke. So underneath each, that's where we have under clean. Then we have our, car wash, exterior detail, interior detail. That's where we can start breaking things down. Under enhance, that's where we have our tinting, our wraps, so on and so forth. Protect, ceramic coating, PPF. So we broke it down like that, and then repair, windshield replacement, chip fix, and we break it down like that. That's what the customer is looking for, and everything's going to be focused around
brilliant.
That. And so, really, that's right. This is the brilliant segment. There we go. So, to be honest, I had to put my own shop under a microscope recently because when they're going great, but could they be better? Could they be enhanced? When's the last time we looked at this? Where are the holes in our game? And so there were 2 things I looked at now that we're focusing on the customer-facing side. There was that. The second part is the onboarding. And the onboarding, we realized as well, people love reminders, people love automation. That's great. But a lot of people had no idea what to expect before their appointment. They said, I knew what to expect during the appointment. You guys went over that thoroughly. During the appointment, we're going to cover this. What are your 3 wishes? Okay, we're going to focus on those. Okay, great. We accept these payments, that payment. This is what you got to do. But a lot of the moms in particular were telling us, I had no idea what I was supposed to do with my car before I came in. Was I supposed to tidy it up a bit? So we found, because a lot of them would show up and we're like, oh, the car is actually not that bad. And they were like, well, I was embarrassed. I vacuumed it before I came in.
Those are the best. I used to love those people.
Yeah. Just amazing people. Great clients. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
The best.
We have one still that's a very random. So this family goes back and forth from here in Naples, Florida. Right?
Yeah,
so
very nice.
And she's very, she's doesn't listen to anything I ever say. She wants to she's one of those people, whatever, right? Like,
fair. Yeah.
Her check cashes. And yes, that's still uses a check.
Yeah.
And it's to her trust. So we'll let her continue to use her check.
100%. Yeah.
Checks from trust we take.
Yeah, it's as good as gold. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, but she's that way.
Damn. It's funny. There's some people that are just like that, you know. But what we realize is that some of these women were doing this, but they didn't want to necessarily. They didn't even know. Like they had no idea.
Well, we had to have a discussion with her.
Oh shit.
And so now she pre-washes.
Jeez, no. Oh damn.
Instead of us charging more, they go take it down to the car wash, spray it off, or do something to pre-clean it.
Pre-clean. The pre-clean. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's the thing. You encounter all different kinds of people. But
it's fine. Whatever. Yeah. That check still cashes.
Exactly. That's all.
And she pre-cleans it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Say lovey. Say lovey. Yeah. That's. You know what though? That's literally showcasing the point though.
Actually, right there.
That's so funny. Jesus. It's legit. It goes to show
$145. I'll take it.
Beautiful. Hell yeah. Wait, why isn't it $8.99? Jesus, this is detailing, Marshall. Detail. No, but it does show you though I never would have thought that customers would be vacuuming before coming in. I never would have thought someone would pre-clean, go to a car wash before coming in. I wouldn't think these things, but that's how our customers are operating. And unless you sit down and try and look at the world from that lens, and a lot of times it's difficult because we're so deep in the industry.
There you go. There's a problem, right? We have to define it the way we want to define it. And we tell people the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Or you'd be like every other business and follows what the customer is needing, right? Yeah. Like, that's why I've always said I don't understand why people have a problem serving other people. It's a service-based business.
Service business.
100%. It's a service-based, like, if you don't understand that you are going to be taking a knee sometimes, like sitting your ass down and listening to somebody, right? Changing what you do because this is what the customer wants. If you ain't ready for all that,
this isn't it for you.
Wrong business, buddy. Wrong business. Like, 100%. This lady is very in particular with that, right? So, but her check cashes.
Yep.
And when we had that conversation, because she was treating us a certain way, she changed her habits. I don't care that okay, so she depends on us for the detail. Okay, so she just changed what she is for us instead of what she used to be. That's all. Like, that's all. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't have to be as thorough. It's okay. I'm not there to win an award. I'm not.
Exactly.
Like, I'm there to collect a check. So whatever that customer wants to do and pay me to do, if it's going to make me money and my guys money, I'm in. Like,
yeah, 100%. And that's where, you're spot on. And that's where the mentality, I feel, everybody has this idea that we're in a very rigid industry.
Not everybody.
It has to be a certain way. Oh, that's true. Not everybody. You're absolutely right. And I feel that people, they're not, you're right. They're not recognizing that we're in the service business and that's what we're ultimately selling.
Know your worth.
The result to the, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And then when the phone stops ringing and it's collecting dust and cobwebs. And
probably the same guy that's in the groups going, is anybody else slow? Like, why is it slow?
Literally, it's one of the things that grinds my gears. And I saw it. You see them often, but I saw one today, and I don't know why. I don't usually get triggered by posts, but for some reason today, I got triggered by it. And I was just like, what is the answer that person wants to that question? Because it's either someone says like, yes, I'm super slow, and that validates you to just take a hike and not do shit because, if everyone's slow, then can't possibly be anything wrong with my business. Or people tell you they're super slammed, never been busier, and then what? Are you going to go take a job now because this obviously isn't for you? Like, what answer are people wanting to that question? It blows my mind. I have no idea. Like, I don't know. I know there's times where I've had businesses that haven't been, like anytime we've started a business, for example, and you don't know the seasons or the fluctuations that the business might go through. You have booming sales and then maybe there's a little dip, slow season, something like that. Sure, I question it. I'm like, okay, what's changed? What's different? But that's where I start to deep dive into the business. What were we doing a month ago? What were we doing 6 months ago? I start to take a look at those factors and I start to assess what are we going to do in 30 days? to do in 7 days? What are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing this hour? And then we start to put a plan in place. I don't know what answer someone will be wanting other than you got to do more, do something. If things have slowed down and your phone's not ringing, you got to do something. If people are filling out your website form but you can't convert them to actual customers, you've got to do something. So are they? What is it, Marshall? Are they looking for just validation of like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know.
buddy, you're gonna get through it. Like, what is it they want? I don't know.
I think they want to feel that they're in it with other people that are also sucking. Apologies if people took that as an insult, but there's times I've sucked. There's times I haven't been so great.
Yeah.
You either got to admit it and change course or stay there. Okay, stay there. All good. Yeah. I'm good. Next. Right? Like, all good, man. You don't want to progress? Cool, stay there. Yeah. But I think that is what so many people, they haven't put in the work, first of all. They haven't, and or they'll expect, okay, well, I did marketing. And they'll say, I did Facebook ads. And these people actually, so this is kind of funny. Yesterday on our episode, we talked about people that would argue, right? They'd go into a group and ask a question, but then argue everybody that lists, hey, what about this, right? Yeah. So, hey, this thing showed up. I put a ceramic coating on. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, well, that's a high spot. And then they start talking to them. No, it's not possible. No way, right? Same thing. Oh, guys, everything's slow. Well, what have you done? Oh, I did Facebook. Okay, well, did you do Google? Yeah, I did Google. Well, did you do? Yeah, I did that. And it's just like, well, did you do? Yes, I did it. Well, what does that mean you did it?
Yeah.
Once, who are you? Are you a Google, like, did you study? Did you spend hundreds of hours to become not a scientist? What am I trying to say? An expert. Thank you. For my own self, reminding my own self. Yeah. An expert. I was like, come on. You
got this, Marshall.
You got this. But, have you put in the time to become an expert at everything that somebody's going to tell you need to do? And the answer is no, you haven't. You spent $500 and then went, oh, man, it didn't work. Well, how do I know? Because that's what I used to do.
Yeah. We've all been there,
Right? Like, I had to have some looks in the mirror, which is something I talk about on a regular basis, right? I had to have some real, talks like, hey, man, you fucked up here. When I sold, I built a YouTube channel and then sold it. This was 2011, right? I've talked to you about this.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
And then I just didn't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. I punted YouTube.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Jeez.
Stupid. Right? Asinine stupid.
Like looking back, yeah, it's like, yeah.
But I took the opportunity of what Instagram was and some other platforms. And then, the big one for us was when we went and took over the expos, right? And started giving away beer, right? Like that was the journey opposite of YouTube. But I fucked YouTube up. I completely punted it. That was stupid.
Yeah.
It was stupid. It really was. But if you can't ever admit it.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. These things happen. You know what I mean? Like it's me, same thing. I had an opportunity. There's a movie called Casino Jack, and it wasn't like a huge movie, but it was still it was a blockbuster hit of sorts. I had an opportunity to invest in that long time ago, and the numbers it did compared to the investment, I would have made probably like 40 times my money. And I look back at that and I'm like, fuck, missed opportunity. And it was a weird thing. I wasn't in the movie business or anything, but we had sold part of one of our companies that we had at the time. It was a directory type business. Anyway, we inherited through that shares of this radio station that was in California, sold those off. During that sale, we met someone that was working on the set. And they were like, oh yeah, I'll introduce you to everybody, blah, blah, blah. So we met a bunch of people, and then they were like, yeah, there's an opportunity actually to invest here if you want. Completely fucked it up. I was like, nah, what do I know about movies and stuff, But it literally would have made 40 or 43 times my money. Like, it happens, Gary Vee, he passed on Uber, I think it was.
Yeah, he talks about that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Twice,
like,
I think he
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Not just once, but twice. Yeah. And it's like shit happens. You know what I mean? But you keep it moving, and it's. I think those are the different mentalities that like you need to have that mentality that this is a journey. There's gonna be wins and losses. Even the best basketball teams, the best football teams, the best soccer clubs, they all take losses. You know, recently one of my favorite
You
fighters,
mentioned athletics.
yeah,
I think that's a dividing line. I think we can see who competed. I don't want to say was a good athlete, just somebody that competed. I wasn't a great athlete, but I was smart and I had more drive than anybody. I showed up at practice and gave it as I was the guy, right, that was nonstop 100% all the time.
yeah, yeah.
I wasn't so great. Trust me. I
And
wasn't.
sometimes that beats athleticism. Like
But if
natural
you depend
athleticism.
on the guy to be there all the time and give everything he has, then
Yeah,
he can be part of the team pretty quick.
yeah,
And
100%.
I think there's so many of us that are into now something that is competitive, but in the early parts of our life, we weren't competitive at all. We actually didn't want it. You know, we would have rather stayed home or rather played something, right? Call that what it is, but it isn't going to compete against another team where, you know, you could win, you could lose, you could have all your amazingness, but you could also have all your worst. And therein lies why I think another reason why so many people do not do. It's I talked about this yesterday. There's a theory, and it is a theory that there's a fear of failing versus the dreams of success, in a sense, where people they're playing defense instead of playing offense, right? They're playing to not fail because I don't want to be a failure and I don't want other people to see me this way. And I had teachers tell me this, or my parents, or somebody, right? There's always something that got them to be defensive instead of offensive, right? For me, from the start early was just play. Like, let's go. How many teams can I be on? Who are we getting? You know, what can I do to get right? You were probably the same way. Nick, my partner, the same way. Like a lot of the highly successful and highly motivated, self-driven people somewhere early in their lives had to go experience that. Maybe that was a coach. Maybe that was a parent that was on the good side of it instead of the bad side. I feel for the people that had bad parents. It wasn't their fault. They're just happy to come out of the womb, but then they got a shitty deal.
It's true. Yeah. And that's where it is sad, you know, you see stuff like that but there's a divide. There's groups of people, and that's one of the things. And that's where I played competitive sports when I was young, plus my parents got me involved in business when I was very, very young. Like when I was 8 years old, I was working for my mom's shop.
I was mowing lawns.
That's what I had to do. See, exactly. And there were good days, there were bad days, there was a lot of like failure, you know, but you had to overcome it. There was no other option. And so for me, it's like always offense. You're absolutely right. It's like that Wayne Gretzky quote, you know, like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You know, there's so much truth in that. Like if you don't take a shot, man, when I started OrbisX, everyone told me there's already a CRM that does for detailing. You should just close it down. I'm like, okay, so what? There's already one. Like what did you have this week? You had Burger King? Well, guess what? There's McDonald's as well. What kind of mentality is that? To me, it's like, no, just go on the offense. And I'll have my strengths, they'll have their strengths, they'll have their weaknesses, I'll have my weaknesses, and you just go to war, man. That's what you do. You know, like you don't throw in the towel, but when I see those posts, I feel like that's from someone that's thrown in the towel already. Because if you're already asking, what I think they're seeking is that validation. You're right, that group, like tell me it's okay. Tell me I'm not alone, that we're all slow, so that I don't have to actually go on the offense. Because I've been so defensive that I'm planning for failure, that now that it's here at my doorstep, I want to know that it's okay. That's what I see when I see those posts, you know? And then I see another post today. I'll touch on this one quick. It's kind of an interesting topic, I think, but I didn't have my phone for a weekend. Go back on, and all the posts were like triggering me. I don't know, something happened. But anyway, so I go on and I see a post. It's kind of an interesting concept, but the guy was talking about vehicle sizes. And it ended up becoming kind of a heated debate between a lot of people, but he basically said, I'm going to just read it here. He said, charging customers based on car, truck, SUV is the worst way to operate. This should not be the industry standard for pricing. We created this problem and we need to change it. Small, medium, large, doesn't matter. And then he followed up with a bunch of stuff. The questions that matter are how long since the car was last cleaned, what's the vehicle used for, so on and so forth, right? He had a really good list, to be honest. And my whole thing is I saw this, and then I saw some of the comments people had, and people were taking it really personally. Oh, this is horrible advice. This is the worst way to run a business. It was going back and forth. The thing is, both of them are right. Both of them are wrong. And it really doesn't fucking matter. I don't think there should be an industry standard, is one of the things I would say. And what I would say is that if you're in an area where that's what everybody else is doing, you might have an advantage if you do something different. And if everyone else in your area is charging, let's say, flat rate pricing, you might have an advantage if you do per vehicle size. But if you're doing exactly what the guy beside you is doing, you guys both don't have an advantage. You're both doing the exact same thing. The only way that you could win then is maybe on extras you throw in or your price or something like that. But I thought it was a really interesting post that I saw, and it's something that I've been thinking about how we do things at our own shop right now, because some of our services we do charge based on vehicle size, and some of them you don't really have a choice. Like if we're going to PPF somebody's vehicle, we're talking square footage here, like, PPF ain't cheap. And if I've got to do like a 7-seater SUV versus doing, like a Mazda Miata, you don't want to penalize the Mazda Miata charging the same price you would for like the Tahoe. You know what I mean? So in some instances, it very much does make sense. But I would argue also that in the detailing side of things, where let's be honest, your margins are insanely high, and really your only cost is labor. How much longer would it take to do a truck versus a sedan? Is it really that much of a difference? Maybe it is for the way you're doing things, maybe it isn't. I think it comes down to a personal, kind of assessment of your own business at that point. But the part I took away from this post was two things. One, he posted this and he just had an alternative outlook on how to do things. And people instantly just jump to, you don't know what you're talking about, and they just shut him down and they just shit on him. And I was like, fuck guys, he's just suggesting like, hey, there's another way. And the longer we shut people down like this, we're never going to innovate. We're never going to do anything different or substantial or exceptional, because we're just doing more of the same until we're all replaced by whatever robot Tesla makes that's going to clean cars. That's what's going to happen, But if you find a way where, hey, maybe there's something that this guy's saying that I could differentiate. So let's say you disagree with the vehicle size portion of what he said. How about the fact that he touched on, here's the things that matter most, these core questions? Because I would argue that those core questions do take precedence over the penalization talk with the customer. Like, oh, unfortunately you bought a certain size vehicle, so we're going to have to charge you more because you bought that vehicle, And it's like, holy shit, like instantly to a customer from their side of things, like for us, we understand, we're in the industry. Oh, it takes a little bit longer, so it's going to be this price, or that's just how the industry operates. To the customer, they're coming in, imagine they don't know anything about detailing at all. First time they're ever getting their car cleaned in their life. Maybe it's their first car in their life. Who knows? So think about the questions that matter instead of, well, what size of vehicle do you have? You're instantly directing them towards a certain destination instead of helping them find a solution to what problems they have. So if you look at it from a more value-oriented perspective, where you're trying to build up that value of what you're going to sell them, asking questions right off the bat, like, what do you use the car for? What's the reason you're looking to get it cleaned or detailed? Those kind of questions. Leading with those questions, I'm telling you, you're going to open up a much better dialogue with the customer, and it's going to lead you to better upsells. You're going to place them in the service based on whatever kind of stuff you talk about. But ultimately, I know at our shop, it takes almost the same amount of time to clean most vehicles as the next vehicle. The dirtiness level, sure, might take a little bit longer in certain scenarios, but ultimately, vehicle size doesn't really play as big a role as it does with some of our other services. Like with tinting, the difference there is how many windows. But I see a lot of guys, the same thing. Marshall, they're charging like, oh, well, you technically have that tiny little, the quarter window in the back. So that's its own window. So we charge per window. So you're going to have to pay this price. And the person's looking at that and they're like, that's not even a window, man. That's like it's a peephole. And you're going to charge me full price for a window for that. So we take a different approach. We're just like, yeah, we throw that in because we're not trying to nickel and dime you. When you say you want the back of your car tinted, we assume you mean all the windows, whether you've got just one window or you've got a window in a square or a window in a triangle or whatever you've got. That's what we're doing, the whole back. And it's going to be this price and so on and so forth. That's all the customer cares about. If we start breaking things down to, well, because you have those, little quarter windows at the back and stuff, they start to feel like we're nickel and diming
Friction.
them, penalizing them. Friction, absolutely. And it's true, everything does go back to friction. It really does. The friction. Friction's everything. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the vehicle size question?
Well, I was going to say, actually, on friction and on that moment, I thought it was an interesting. We have a crumble cookie that just opened up. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, there's one here with lineups out the door. Yeah.
So Saturday after physical therapy, wife wanted to
get a cookie.
go get some cookies. That's an interesting concept. Nobody to greet you. Mm-hmm. No, you touch the screen, you order everything in your own. There's just people back there working and they bring it out when it's ready.
Yeah.
It's
a different experience.
It was a different experience. Yeah. Like once you do it, you can get used to it. And you can see why people just order from their phone and pull up and get their cookie and go, right? Like, but the little grandma in front of, that came in after me, I was sitting there watching her in front of me and I was like, she's got a lot of friction here. She has no clue what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I joked like, we're going to be that old person one day, like hopefully, right? Like walking in some place like, what? Like,
yeah.
So no lesson out of that. It was just a story of the frictionless, cookie. And it was like, this is cool. Once you learn it, there's actually zero friction. You touch some buttons and get your cookies. Like,
yeah, and it's like, interesting. Yeah, but for the business, it's funny, because friction sometimes is beneficial for the business at times, where like for upsells, things like that. Because like in those instances, it's almost like ordering groceries online. You just get what's on the list. You know what I mean? Versus when you go into the store, every aisle, you've got the end caps. You're like, oh, look at this. Or you see people there with the samplers of stuff. Like, oh, we have this new cheese or new pizza. Would you like to try some? There's all those little things that for a business, the friction can be good. But it's just two different business models. For them, they're just like, we're just trying to sell as many goddamn cookies as we can. So, you just come in and they're reducing the staff issue, really. In some capacities, they obviously still need manpower, but it is just two different schools of thought, and that's kind of my point. Is that I would argue that there's a market for both aspects of that, and that's where as detailers we really need to wrap our heads around that and say, okay, what do I want my business to look like? What kind of service do I want to provide to the customer? What kind of customers can I attract? Do I enjoy attracting? And what experience are they looking for? And that's how you start to tailor your business model around the customers
Then you're not a detailer.
Now you're a marketer. Yeah.
Now you're in car care.
Oh, car care as a whole. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Goes back to your point earlier of talking like, clean, enhance, protect. Like,
yeah, because if you're a detailer, you're forcing it down their throat. No detailing.
They don't know what that means.
Service,
Yeah.
Okay. Just imagine some of our customers, like a big chunk of them, are soccer moms. And imagine explaining to them, we could do a 3-step correction on your vehicle there for you, ma'am. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, she's thinking in her head, she's like, fuck, my kid can't even do long division. She's thinking about other shit. She's not thinking about 1-step or 3-step. Like, she has no idea what you're talking about, and you really got to break it down to that grade 5 level. Clean, enhance, protect, repair. That's going to be the zone that we live in now. And I'm literally working on redoing all the copy. I'm asking Luna, hey, help me with the copy on this. but talk to me like I'm a 5th-year-old or a fifth grader, like
A fifth grader?
fifth grader.
I'm 5th-year-old. I'm a 5th grader.
I mixed the two. Yeah, exactly. A 5th grader. You got it. And yeah, thanks, man. I you have to break it down like that, and like studies even show, like newspapers, they're written for grade 5 level, like all these different things. But that's where the sweet spot is like there's people that can't read still. There's people that can't read well. See exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yesterday, I was trying to read this comment, and I just butchered the whole thing. Nick's had to save me. I was like, fuck, I can't read. Like,
Jesus, yeah. You know, it's crazy. Me, I can read pretty decent, but it depends what it is. I get mixed up because like Spanish and English. But my wife, the other day, she said to me, we're watching some show anyway, and some guy he didn't get an infection, and this is important, but she said, I think he has an infarction. And I thought she was joking, like, you know, where people are like, oh, it's an infaction. Like, they're just, like, talking stuff. I thought that's what she was saying. I was like, yo, stop it. Who are you making fun of right now? And she's like, no, I think he has an infarction. And I'm like, what are you saying? Erection, yeah, I thought she was. So come to find out, she's like, an infarction. It's not an infection, but it's similar. And I was like, bullshit, that's not a real thing. I swear
around
to God,
the arse?
I don't even remember what the definition was, but it's a real thing. You can have an infection or you can have an infarction. That's a true story.
I guarantee you that infarction's around the arse.
Yeah, yeah. It's around the what? The Brazilian bum bum?
No.
Yay! But yeah, sorry. That was for those of you that don't know. There's a new scent coming out from Marshall. But oh. Yeah, my bad. But there's something coming. Something coming. That's all we know. But yeah, infarction is a real thing. But yeah, it really is. You know, 2 schools of camp. There's no real right or wrong answer in terms of how you set up your business model, as long as it's working and it's converting customers and the customers are happy and getting the experience they need. So I had to rip apart my own shop today because we're revamping a lot of stuff, and I learned a lot through that hopefully is going to be insightful for someone out there that looks at their website that they just got done by
I will.
really fancy web company that knows their shit and says, holy shit, man, this reads like a brochure.
Simplify it. Simplify it. It's great advice. It's really great advice.
Yeah, 100%. It's the only way to go. And so once I've done the new website too, I'll post a link to it. People can go through it and feedback, use it as an example. And I will even take it a step further. I'm also going to turn it into a template as well that you can literally just preload into a WordPress website if you want.
Yeah.
And for those of you that understand the community and purchasing OrbisX and purchasing HyperClean and purchasing Printing Shark products, keep in mind, you could always ping me and be like, hey, I don't want to pay these hefty website fees. Maybe you could spin up a quick little website for me and put that same template. That could be done for you as well. So just throwing that out there. Here for the community. And all the 5th graders.
All right, man. It's great talk. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. Looking forward to it, guys. Check out the Pints Polishing podcast as well. And stay tuned. I have some exciting news coming up as well. That's a mix of the new HyperClean stuff that's going to be coming with the new booking form. I'm very excited to release that and launch it. I just have a few things to test with Marshall, and then we'll be good to go. So, awesome, guys. Stay tuned. You'll be able to earn more money as a detailer, talking to your customers in the way that they understand.
Perfect.
We'll see you guys next week. All right. Cheers. See ya.